1045 The Team, your home for New York sports. Joining us right now, Casey Sherman. He's the author of 12, the inside story of Tom Brady's season of redemption. And I feel like there's a couple of those seasons. Casey, how'd you pick just one?
That's a good question, but I think, it had to be the season that culminated with the greatest come-from-behind victory in Super Bowl history. So, and it's not a season, it's the fight for redemption. So we take it through, the entire journey from Deflategate all the way to what we saw unfold against the Atlanta Falcons.
So you're taking it all the way from Deflategate and the whole suspension. Take us through that, and I don't want to ruin some of the book, but Brady and the Patriots' relationships and feelings towards the NFL and Roger Goodell at that time.
Well, I mean, you're seeing it all unfold right now at Fortress Foxborough. Basically, Roger Goodell and the NFL, they had targeted Brady. There's no other way to say it. They had all their chess pieces in place. This was a sting operation from the very beginning. They had written their conclusion on the Deflategate investigation before they actually investigated it. And it was a make-good by Roger Goodell for literally sweeping evidence under the rug, going all the way back to the Spygate scandal, a much more legitimate scandal that we all saw unfold in 2007. Deflategate really is about an equipment violation that was turned into a capital murder case, and Tom Brady being the prime suspect.
I'm sorry about getting the title wrong. The fight for redemption. So it's interesting because a lot of people look at the Patriots and they see them as everyone's favorite. They see them as the almost silver spoon in their mouth. And now we're in a situation where they're in the crosshairs. Was that weird for you to see this team go from being the apple of everyone's eye to being the target?
Well, anytime, success breeds contempt, doesn't it? So anytime that a team is as successful as the Patriots have been for now going on 18-plus seasons, everybody from the outside looking in is going to take any opportunity they can to knock you down a peg. And certainly Tom Brady had a target on his back with Deflategate, which, as I said, it's a minor equipment violation that should have resulted in a $10,000 fine as opposed to a 4-game suspension and an asterisk on what otherwise is the greatest career in NFL history.
Why don't these ball boys, equipment managers, whatever you want to call them, they don't talk? Is there any chance you were able to figure something out about these guys who may have been involved in this?
These guys, I think, are buried under 6 feet of lie somewhere. I've written about organized crime. I've written about the CIA, the FBI, and it was easier to extract information from some of those stories than it has been to chase after these guys. We made several attempts to go after the equipment managers, but they would not go on the record. So, their story, even though it's interesting, it's almost a comic side note in the book. These two guys were, basically, kind of knuckleheads with the way that they, performed their duties and treated each other via text messages and everything else that, we reveal in the book. But the real big story here is why the NFL went after the Patriots. That is the story. It unfolds like a John Grisham drama as opposed to just a regular sports story. We look at Roger Goodell, and he's a great character in the book because he's very Nixonian. He's a guy that did everything he could to attain the power he had and then would do everything he could to retain the power he had. And doing so, he, created this ridiculous investigation to tear down a guy's career, basically with only circumstantial evidence at hand.
Casey Sherman with us, the author of 12, the inside story of Tom Brady's fight for redemption. Were you a Brady or Patriots fan when you started this process? Did it change, or did your fandom change in any way while you were writing?
Well, I have to take the jersey off when you're writing a book. I was obviously being a Boston guy, you follow the local teams, but being an investigative journalist, I was just, allowing the story to lead me to the conclusions that we came up to. And we were, this is a very fair and balanced book as it's been reviewed by just about every newspaper in the country right now. It's the #1 sports book in America, and they keep coming back to the fact that we didn't approach this as fans, we approached it as journalists looking to get the truth. Tom Brady does come out well in the book. Robert Kraft, that relationship with him was clearly fractured from the very beginning of the Deflategate saga. We open the book where Robert Kraft is giving up any chance of suing the NFL to defend his quarterback. And the thing is, he never told Brady that he was going to do it. So while we're all watching this unfold on CNN, so was Brady, and Brady reaches out to DeMaurice Smith, the executive director of the NFL PA Association at the time, and said, why isn't anybody supporting me on this? So Brady felt very betrayed initially by Kraft. I think the team ownership has done, has gone a long way in repairing that relationship, and that includes jettisoning the heir apparent Jimmy Garoppolo to San Francisco last year. I think Belichick also threw Brady under the bus with his infamous press conference comparing himself to Mona Lisa Vito from My Cousin Vinny, saying he had nothing to do or had no knowledge of pressure gauges and air pressure in a football. Brady definitely felt betrayed by that, and you're seeing that relationship crumble before our eyes today.
How far does this go? Okay, I'm sorry, my voice cracked right there. I got so excited about what you just said. Casey, how far does the book go? Because we were one of the shows that had that, the theory of the foundation of this dynasty starting to crack and the relationship between Belichick, Brady, and Kraft starting to become more of workmanship than friendship. How far does the book go into that, or are we talking about 12 and a half? The fight continues.
Well, obviously the fight is continuing today, and we're seeing it in a much more public forum, but we go very deep in the book in terms of the fractured relationships, and where everything you're seeing today, really, the origin story is in the pages of 12. So it unfolds like a John Grisham thriller, as I said, because, we do talk about not only the fractured relationships on the field, but also the maneuvering behind the scenes between Brady's other teammates, his agent Don Yee, the lawyers, the unsung heroes in the NFL PA who were battling with Yee about strategy and tactics, and there's a lot of back and forth in the book that we're revealing for the first time that I think any Patriots fan or any fan of a good business book or a legal thriller would appreciate.
There's so many juicy things right now. I have so many different follow-ups, and I don't want to ruin it because the book is going to be so fantastic, but we know there's sometimes limitations and stories that don't make the book. Is there anything that hit the chopping room floor that you want to share with us that you wish could have still been in this?
No, I think it's a fully baked book. Obviously, we're continuing to watch everything unfold in Foxborough, and, we will follow that, and if we have to revise later editions, we certainly are willing to do that. But I think we cover, all of our bases. It's the only book that Tom Brady has ever cooperated with. We got him on the record. We penetrated Gillette Stadium and that organization much deeper than any journalist or any writer has ever done, quite frankly, in our opinion, at least from a book form. There are great journalists that cover the team every day, but I think when you get it laid out in 200 some odd pages, you see where all of the points connect.
Casey Sherman with us. He and Dave Wedge wrote 12, the inside story of Tom Brady's fight for redemption. Casey, I got to ask you: is you're in there and you're seeing everything and you're getting that insight that nobody else has been able to get? Is this the thing that finally starts to end that dynasty? Because no team's been able to do it. Is this maybe what starts it all? Where maybe we're watching the Super Bowl and the Patriots aren't there.
Yeah, I think, this year is going to be very telling. This could be, I don't think it's going to be Brady's last year unless he wins the Super Bowl, but it very well could be Belichick's last year. I don't think the relationship between Belichick and ownership is quite strong. Belichick saw the heir apparent to Brady. He had him, signed up on the team. Jimmy Garoppolo has got a playing window of 10 to 15 years. And Belichick could have proved once and for all that he could win without Tom Brady. And I believe that, that was his mission, that was his agenda, and that's all been taken away from him now. So it'll be interesting to see how long he lasts as head coach of the team.
Casey Sherman, man, we appreciate you at 12. The inside story of Tom Brady's fight for redemption. Looking forward to getting all the way through this. I'm a slow reader, but this is good stuff, and thank you for sending us a copy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's in bookstores everywhere. It's the #1 sports book in America right now. So hope all your listeners pick it up.